This episode is about Karen Agnifilo, Luigi's New York attorney. She's commanding and demanding that they release the evidence. She wants to know the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, who did it and who did it with who. There's a mountain of evidence accusing your client of murder. Photos, pictures, documents, witness statements, I need it all. So now she's saying, I can't challenge the evidence. March 21st marked 88 days that they haven't received anything. Well, why are you holding on to discovery? You're either fabricating something, you're either falsifying something. Why do I not have the discovery? What are you hiding? As I'm submitting this video to you, it's on the 100th day and they still haven't received any of the discovery. Karen has documented every single affront to her client in great detail. This terror and the idea of him being a terrorist has been manufactured by the New York Police Department, by the mayor himself. I need to know what you pulled from his computer. I need to know what you pulled from his phone. She needs more time to formulate a strategy, to look at the evidence, to question the evidence, or the techniques used to uncover evidence. I need more time. You're not giving it to me. It's been 100 days later and we have nothing. Listen, we're not talking about amateurs. You got high-powered attorneys on this case, you guys. Everything matters. And what you're talking about may fly in the street, but it doesn't land in court. Just because you can make an arrest doesn't mean you can prosecute a case in a courtroom. Those are two totally different things. Welcome back. This is the Real Nathan Daley, and this is another episode of the Crime Classroom. And listen, we're going to dive right into it. But first, I want to say thank you for all of your hard work on the previous episodes. I enjoy your comments. You guys did an amazing job. Let's not waste any time. This episode is about Karen Agnifilo, Luigi's New York attorney. She's putting her foot down and she's running back to back with Thomas Dickey and their complaints against the state. The prosecutors are doing a horrible job and they're impeding this process. Karen is saying, I cannot care and provide proper counsel to my client because you are steamrolling around him and you're setting up roadblocks and you're making it impossible for me to do my job. But why is that? We're going to talk about it on this episode. This is so important, this motion that she filed March 21st. And I want to wait a little bit. I want to marinate on this because I want to see how long it was going to take. And listen, you guys, since she filed this motion, it's been 88 days when she filed it, saying that I have not received discovery. So let's talk about the points that we're going to cover on this episode. Number one, demand for discovery has been updated. 2, the protective order. What does that mean? 3, NYPD's media campaign. Next, you'll have your assignment. After that, the challenge of evidence. Then Luigi needs a computer, believe it or not. And then we need more time. What does that mean? And finally, the conclusion. I'm going to put a bow on top. I'm going to break this thing down and explain to you why this is one of the most important motions that Karen is going to file, how dangerous they are operating in no man's land. I'm talking about the state. And what happens next? The motion that Karen filed is a motion for discovery. She's updating. She's reminding. She's commanding and demanding that they release the evidence, you guys. She wants to know the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, who did it and who did it with who. Listen, this is so important. This is key. Why is that? Because she can't do her job without it, you guys. But what is discovery? The discovery is exactly what it sounds like. It's the evidence. What did you discover about my client that led you to believe that he is guilty? What did you discover? Who'd you discover it with? And who determined that this evidence is accurate evidence? I want the credentials. I want to know how you put it together. I want to know what equipment you use. I need to know this so I know how to challenge it in court. I need to put my rebuttals together. The problem with this case is there's so much evidence according to New York. There's a mountain of evidence accusing your client of murder. I don't have it. I haven't seen it. What do you have? I need every tangible aspect, detail, and data photos, pictures, documents, witness statements. I need it all, but I don't have anything, and that's a violation of my client's rights. Karen talks about in her document that, listen, the state has 20 days after the arraignment of my client to provide some discovery. I need the evidence. You guys, well, what happened? March 21st marked 88 days that they haven't received anything. Karen says you're in bad territory, and you've already superimposed on my client's rights, and you're trying to provide some BS excuse, and I'm not accepting it. What are they saying? Their justification is like, listen, we got 800 gigabytes of data, of information. Reference to this case, we have cameras, we have photos, documents, statements, we have video surveillance cameras from the street tracking this suspect. There's so much information. Karen said, yeah, I hear all that, but I want it now. And listen, she's demanding them to provide it. I need to know the who, the what, the when, the why, the where, and it's been 88 days. I don't need it now. I need it right now. And if I can't do my job, you are impeding on this process for me to provide proper counsel to my client. Here's the other issue, is that they stated there's a reason for why they can't provide it. But guess what? As I'm submitting this video to you, it's on the 100th day, and they still haven't received any of discovery. Facts over feelings, that's the quote that we operate off of here on this channel. Many of you guys have been asking about the shirt. Listen, the store link is at the bottom. Grab your shirt or two. Please rock it. Let me know what you think. Send photos, and I'll definitely share it on the timeline. If you like what you see, you enjoy this content, also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Give us a thumbs up, or a thumbs down is okay, you guys, but make sure you hit the like button. Not now, but right now. Let's get back to it. They're trying to make justification for why they haven't provided the discovery yet. And the justification is a legal one, but it's not justified legally. All right, let me explain that to you. They're making excuses for why they can't give the discovery. But the excuse that they're making is a legal excuse, but it's not justifiably legal. And this leads us into the next chapter, which is the protective order. This is how they are justifying the reason for not providing the discovery, the protective order. What is a protective order? Essentially, the protective order is what one would file when they believe that there's some sensitive information within the discovery that they don't want released, okay? For example, I've seen it happen in sexual assault cases where the victim doesn't want to be identified. But in this case, what the state is saying is that there's witnesses in this case who provided testimony that are essentially afraid of their safety. They've been threatened. Well, Karen's like, well, there are no threats coming on this side. My client didn't threaten anybody. So we don't know where that information is coming from. That's not accurate. This is why they're saying they can't provide the discovery to the state, is because one, the files are so big. Two, the protective order is like to protect the witness. But then Karen said, no, that's BS. And it's so late in the game, there's no way you can pull that stunt. Here's the problem with their argument. Their argument falls on its face because even if you have a witness that you're trying to protect, witness statements that you use to find my client guilty, you don't want me to see it, so I can't challenge the validity of it. Okay. What about the 99% of the other evidence that y'all have that you still haven't provided? Karen says this is a flawed argument. Not only that, it's an illegal one. The way you're going about using it, you are damaging my client's reputation. Why does she say that? Apparently, she's talking about how the only time she gets access to any of the evidence, it's been leaked through the media. She's talking about how the officers are doing press interviews and they're meeting up with the New York Post, New York Times, and they're sharing information about the case. They're leaking information to the media. And listen, she's so bold, she puts all of her sources in the document, showing the proof. New York Times, the New York Post. You can't argue. All the evidence is on her side. This doesn't look good for the state. And she talks about how her client is being molded into this terror figure, that he's being charged with murder and terrorism. But she says, well, hold on one second. There's no terror coming from my client. This terror and the idea of him being a terrorist has been manufactured by the New York Police Department, by the mayor himself, cultivating this idea in order to try to charge him with something that he didn't do. That all of these things that have been exacerbated through the media have all been orchestrated by the New York Police Department. They are creating this boogeyman. They are creating this figure of who's larger than life. They are the one who pranced him around in an orange jumpsuit for the world to see as they hung behind him strutting, okay, with guns blazing. They did that. They are painting this picture that's a false image of who my client is, and because of that, we want this case thrown out, we want this evidence suppressed, and I need the discovery. Not now, but right now. What's the next chapter? NYPD media campaign. These officers want the fame. They want their 24 hours in the spotlight. They want that Netflix deal. They want that New York bestseller. They want to be on the New York Times. They want to be on Time Magazine. They want to glorify themselves by saying that they led to the arrest and the downfall of Luigi Mangione. That's what they want. They want a standing ovation. They want the Purple Heart. They want to be a hero so bad. Listen, they're going to do in this case trying to play 21 Jump Street, and I'm going to tell you why. They have sent this investigation into a tailspin, and not just the officers. We're talking high brass, the mayor, the commissioner. They are failing their city miserably. They destroyed this investigation, you guys, and they're trampling on the rights of Luigi Mangione, and I'm going to tell you why. Karen has documented every single affront to her client in great detail. I don't think you understand how diabolical the state has been at absolutely trampling on this man's right to a fair trial. This whole case needs to be studied after this is over on what not to do, on the violations of state officials, and how their mere utterance of words in the media can damage and ruin not only their credibility or their integrity, but also destroy a case. And this leads us into the next chapter, the challenge of evidence. You know, Karen talks about how there's so many witness statements. There's so much evidence that was presented to the jury. In order for them to say, yeah, I think this is the guy. Yeah, I think they did it. Well, Karen's saying, okay, can I get that information that y'all gave them? They're saying, nah, we can't give it to you because of the protective order. We got to protect our witness. And Karen's like, but I need to know what the witness said. How can I verify and validate the information? I need to know what the juries know. You guys, they are simply putting Karen in a position to where she can't do her job. So now she's saying, I can't challenge the evidence. What else can I not challenge? Well, I don't have the discovery. Well, why are you holding on to the discovery? What reasons could you have? Are you either fabricating something? You're either falsifying something. You're either trying to create something, manufacture something out of thin air. You're trying to connect dots that don't exist. You're trying to tailor things up a little bit. Why do I not have the discovery? What are you hiding? What do you need to hide? You told the world that you have a mountain of evidence. And there's so much evidence that you know 100% that it's the guy. And if it's the guy, I need to know why. I need the discovery. She can't challenge anything, and this is what makes this case so interesting. You guys, they're opening the door for an acquittal. For this next assignment, I want you to tell me how the NYPD's influence in the media can negatively impact this case. Give me your thoughts. Put your comments below. Good luck. Luigi needs a computer. Well, it may sound crazy, but let me tell you why she's making this request and why the state is trying to deny this request. In this particular situation, it's not unheard of in a federal case or federal client for them to request a laptop. The purpose of the laptop is to view evidence. Karen is saying, listen, there's so much evidence, you guys. We're talking almost a terabyte worth of data, and Luigi hasn't seen any of it yet, right? Remember what I told you, they have no discovery. She said, listen, my client needs to be able to review off of this evidence. He needs to be able to provide an argument, explanation as well. He can't see what he's being accused of. And I can't be around my client 24 hours with a computer. See, as an attorney, you can bring a computer into the area, the holding cell area, when you're actually in conference with your client. But then when you leave, you take the computer with you. She's saying, I can't print 15,000 pages of documents and pictures and witness statements. It's so much more convenient and more practical for it to be on a computer, for him to go through this information on his downtime. And then when I meet with him, we can go over it. For example, in one of my most recent clients by the name of Otha Wallace. And in that case, as an expert witness, going in to meet and interview the client, I have my laptop with me because I'm taking notes. I'm going over evidence. I'm asking the client to describe the case and the event and how he responds to this. We're looking at social media accounts. We're looking at statements that he's made. We're looking at his text messages. We're listening to phone calls. There's so much evidence on the computer, and it's so important for us to be able to use that while we are interviewing a client and getting information and also taking notes. You guys, I was in there interviewing my client for about 3 to 4 hours in the jail. Okay, and that is such an important time. So I definitely understand what she's saying, especially a case like this where there's 800 gigabytes worth of data. He absolutely needs to have a computer. And here's the other thing. They're late receiving it. Again, this is 100 days later. They have no evidence. They have no discovery. They only have the information that's been leaked to the media or provided through interviews by officers and mayor and commissioner. Okay, so this is where they're getting their updates from. It is a nasty game they're playing, and I guarantee you it's going to backfire. We need more time. Well, this one's an obvious one. She needs more time to formulate a strategy, to look at the evidence, to question the evidence, to question the validity of a witness or the techniques used to uncover evidence. Who pulled the print? Who tested the ballistics on the gun? Okay. I also need to see the forensics. I need to see the data. I need to know what you pulled from his computer. I need to know what you pulled from his phone. I need to know what arguments that you're making against my client. I need time. I need more time. And you're not giving it to me. It's been 100 days later and we have nothing. What does that mean? You have essentially given the state a head start. To do what? To fabricate, to create, connect false dots, to manufacture. They are playing a nasty game, you guys, and they're ahead of the game. They are lapping the defense right now. And why would they need to be so devious? Well, it means their case is weak. It means somewhere their case has fallen apart. Where did it fall apart? In Pennsylvania. This goes back to the previous video, the checkmate video. It goes back to what I said before. The fruit of a poisonous tree is bad juju, you guys. Listen, why are they playing coy? Why are they not giving the discovery? This is easy. If this was a slam dunk, they would share everything, right? They won't even share the body camera footage on when Luigi was arrested. But you share a whole video about the shooter shooting the victim. So again, the way law enforcement works, when they're confident, they're confident. When they got it right, they got it right. And they love to share it with the world. So this is so suspicious about this case that they want to keep certain things close to the chest. They're not sharing the discovery. They're making excuses. They're trying to make legal arguments as to why they can't share 100% of the discovery when they have a witness they're trying to protect. Well, are you leaning on that one witness to sustain your case? How accurate is that witness's testimony? Do they know that that testimony from that witness can be torn apart? Listen, we're not talking about amateurs. You got high-powered attorneys on this case, you guys. Everything matters. A minor slip-up can damage the integrity of this case, and we have a lot of them. We have a mountain full of slip-ups from the state. They've done a horrible job maintaining the integrity of this case from the highest level. So they know they messed up bad. The feds know they messed up bad. And the feds are probably looking at it like, y'all want us to take this over? This entire case and the evidence can be thrown out, and they're gonna have to manage this case on circumstantial evidence. Now, listen, I hear a lot of people in the comment section, they want to talk about how this is done. I'm trying to tell you, I do this for a living. And listen, we know how the police procedure works. I'm gonna tell you how it works. But just because certain things fly on the street doesn't mean it's gonna land in court. And I'm here to tell you what lands in court. And what you're talking about may fly in the street, but it doesn't land in court. And that's what the crime classroom is all about. Giving you the real insight on how this thing works. And just because you can make an arrest doesn't mean you can prosecute a case in a courtroom. Those are two totally different things. In closing, we're in 100 days. Karen is on top of everything, and she's on top of nothing at all. She has no evidence. The discovery is missing. She can't make an argument. She can't do rebuttals. She doesn't know where to go from here. But this is more so exposing the state. It's exposing bad actors within the NYPD. And she has a lot of ammunition, okay? They're gonna dance themselves into the corner of an acquittal. And this case can very much well be over before it even hits trial. Dangerous things ahead. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. And until then, a next episode of the Crime Classroom. Stay tuned. I want to get your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about the update? Where are you now? We've had some unbelievers to believers, and we still have some those who are questioning the validity of this case. Listen, if you believe that my position is not a position that you take, and you want to debate these issues live, you're more than welcome. Please reach out to me via email. We can set up a live. We can discuss this amongst the family here in this Crime Classroom segment. You guys, I'm your professor, Real Nathan Daley. And with that, good night. God bless.